An insight is like a doorway. You know those moments where you just feel like after breath work or a workshop or a retreat, a meditation or just a breakthrough in life, when everything suddenly feels clear. And that's the door. But here's the thing, the real transformation doesn't happen at the doorway. It happens when you walk through it. That is where the new patterns are formed. When we bring it home, that wisdom and that gift of insight, if we can actually integrate it in our lives and see real changes and make those changes part of our life. And of course, that is also where more resistance shows up. Most people think of resistance that it means that they failed. I so often refer to it as I'm a slow learner. I can easily feel very inspired after a session. And then when I feel that I don't stick to my new practice or I make the same mistake again, then I feel there's something wrong with me, I failed. But resistance is not failure, it's just a practice. Resistance is actually a sign that our nervous system is just still doing the old job of protecting ourselves. And the real rewiring must still happen because we still stay with that familiarity of the old pattern, even if it's not serving us anymore. So if you have been meeting resistance in your practice or in your daily life, then it just means that you're alive and you're growing and you're stepping into something new. For years, we've unconsciously trained ourselves into our habits to build that protective pattern, which actually made us feel safe. So now that we have a new perspective, we need to retrain ourselves. So when I decide now I'm going to change something in my life, or I'm going to journal every day, or I'm going to stay with my breath when I feel anxious, or I'm going to step into an ice bath and do the difficult thing, and my whole nervous system says, no, it's too uncomfortable. This isn't safe. It's not because I can't do it. It's because my nervous system is just relating to the discomfort, to the danger. And that's simply old wiring, old programming that's been running for years. So I think of it like a small child within me that needs to learn something new. And if we can only meet ourselves with a little bit more of a nurturing approach and with a little bit more kindness in that self-talk, like you would do with a child learning a new skill, with encouragement, with kindness, with repetition, and just allow that. This is why practices like sweat lodges and ice immersion and breathwork are so powerful, because they create safe spaces to meet discomfort and train our nervous system that discomfort is also good for us. Instead of avoiding it, we learn to stay with it. And every time we do so, our brains learns a new message that I can be here, I can still breathe here, and I don't need to run. And that is how resistance softens and how it shifts from being a wall straight in our face to becoming a doorway that we can step through. But then half the work is done once we've gained that insight, or we can look at something with a new perspective. So let me give you something really practical, 4-step process that you can use anytime when resistance shows up, whether it's breathwork session, a tough conversation, or in daily habits. Just pause and simply say to yourself, this feels uncomfortable, naming it, Acknowledging it brings awareness to it. And then ask yourself, what does this mean to me? What old story or belief is being triggered? And then tune into your body and feel where in your body you feel this resistance. Is it in your chest or in your shoulders or in your back? And noticing this is also really powerful. It actually carries a story because every body part has got a consciousness and also tells a story. But resistance isn't a block, it's a teacher. It actually shows the light and bring understanding. It shows the exact edge where growth is ready to happen. So when you meet resistance with awareness, then something shifts. Instead of fighting it, you slow down and soften into it. You allow it, and acceptance begins to arise. Yes, this can be hard, but I can be here with it. Just allow it. And just practice that allowing. And with time, forgiveness follows, because part of resistance is the pain of self-betrayal. That programming that we allowed to happen to please someone else, to put someone else's needs before our needs. All the times we didn't face what was true for us. And that can bring a form of resentment and even anger. But here's the gift, because anger, when we work with it consciously, can be fuel. It can propel us into movement, into the very action that we've been avoiding. And when we face it, we reclaim our power. So remember this, insight opens the door, but resistance is the threshold. So walking through that threshold again and again is how you build new brain pathways and truly integrate the change. So the next time resistance shows up, don't judge it. Don't fight back. Pause. Allow feeling. Breathe and ask what it's showing you. And take one small step at a time. Just one step forward. Anyway, regardless of the discomfort. Now, I'd love to hear from you where resistance show up in your life right now. And what's the one small practice that you can commit to this week? I'd love to hear your reflections. And if you want to make this a regular practice through Holotropic Breathwork, then join my Breathe to Thrive community. I'll share the link below. That's where we meet on a weekly basis to go into a deep dive within ourselves, to make that deep connection, to process unprocessed emotions and events, and release energy and grow, heal, and reconnect with our authentic self.